Welcome to Beyond the Awards, a podcast from the British Wedding Film Festival. This is where we have honest conversations with filmmakers shaping wedding cinema, nominees, winners, and industry voices. I'm Joss.
And I'm Jeff, and as co-founders with Laura and Pete of the British Wedding Film Festival, we're excited to bring these conversations to you. For this episode of Beyond the Awards, we're joined by Roo from Roo Films, a standout UK-based wedding filmmaker and the winner of Educator of the Year.
Known for his incredible storytelling, passion for sharing knowledge, and his drive to elevate the industry, Roo is also the mastermind behind Coda, a conference built specifically to inspire, educate, and connect wedding filmmakers in the UK.
Today, we're diving into the power of education, what it takes to build a thriving community, and how teaching others can make you a better filmmaker yourself. Roo, welcome to the show.
Roo from Roo Films. Hello, my friend.
Hello, Josh. Hello, Jeff.
Hi.
Roo, I have to say, out of all the guests we've had, I think you've got the best setup. In fact, Jason was pretty good. Yours is splendid. I like it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's amazing, isn't it?
I can tell you've done this before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Roo, we were just chatting offline. It's really, it's not quite middle of wedding season, but, you know, kind of. You hanging in there? Your queue's getting longer, the backlog?
Yes. Oh, can we do that? Can we compare queues? I'm well up for that. I am. Yeah.
Go for it.
Let's compare. I think I am 10 now at the minute. How are you?
As in, you've got 10 to edit?
Yeah.
I'm on 11.
Okay, you win.
Yeah, I think 1.
What, Jeff? Bloody hell, Jeff. You can't do this to us.
Well,
the thing is,
I've literally done 2 weddings this year. I had a bit of a sabbatical.
The thing is, though, if I had 1, it'd still take me as long as this 10 is going to take me, because I just extend the amount of time to go.
But I'll give a 12-week window to my couples for delivery of their films, and I shot the 11th last week, so I've not even started it, so they're not going to get in 12 weeks, you know?
Yeah.
So,
that's the bit I hate, because I'm the same as you, 12 weeks, but when I get to 12 in the queue, I'm thinking, right, 1 needs to go out a week now, and that's what I work on anyway, is that I need a delivery done every single week. But then, especially when it's school holidays, something can happen with the kids, can't it? And there's these little events that happen. Like a podcast in the middle of the day.
Like a podcast, that's right. On a very hot summer day.
Yeah. And it
in
soon
fact,
puts
I'm
me
going
on.
to tell all our listeners, do not watch the YouTube video, because we are all going to be sweating throughout this episode.
Yeah.
So stick to listening it.
I thought you were going to say because we're all naked.
Yeah, exactly. Scrub to 14 minutes in, and then you'll see the topless version.
So, Roo, Jeff and I are very excited to have you on. You know the drill. The very, very, very first question we're going to ask you is probably the most important one.
Yeah.
Have you prepared your 2 truth and 1 lie?
I have, yes.
Okay,
yes.
Good. Go, take it away.
Right, I'm going to read them out just so it becomes more neutral, right? Okay. And Jeff, I've noticed that you're very cheeky and you put questions in early doors to try and you taking this very seriously trying to win this competition, aren't you, Jeff? So,
well, I am in the lead, so, you know, it works.
I'm on to you, mate.
That. Okay.
I'm on to you. Okay. So the first one, I have nearly choked to death on my supply meal on 5 separate occasions. Okay, there's number 1. Number 2, I was once so ill at a wedding that I couldn't remember shooting it. And when it came to the edit, it was like editing an associate shooter's work.
And, my goodness.
And number 3, no questions. Maybe it's you, Joss. Maybe it's you.
Okay.
And the third one, Bruce Dickinson, the lead singer of Iron Maiden, stole one of my TX 650s.
Ooh,
so there we go, a bit of a range.
That's got to be true. That's just way too... specific.
Too specific, do you think? Well, maybe that's why I did it.
So
like I said to you, Jeff,
filmmaking related. That's good.
I reckon he accidentally stole it. I reckon, it's one of those where he was wearing it for an interview and then he forgot and he went home.
That wouldn't be stealing it, though, would it? Stealing is intentional.
So he actually intentionally stole it.
Well, maybe, I don't know. It's just written down, mate. This is what AI gave me.
Anyway, we'll come back to those.
We'll come back to this. And Roo, we were saying you've done this before. You've got a great setup because you've got your own podcast. And throughout this episode, we'll talk about why the podcast was created that you have, because it's not just a podcast, it's a movement, it's a conference, there's tons behind it and a lot of work that's gone into it. So would love to go into that. But you are still at heart a filmmaker. You still shoot weddings, and you started as a photographer, right?
I did. Yes.
Did not know that.
So take us back to like the journey. How did you get into
Right.
VidFlow helps wedding and event filmmakers deliver their films in a premium Netflix-style experience that feels as cinematic as the work itself. Instead of juggling different platforms, download links, and USB sticks, VidFlow brings everything together into one beautifully branded platform.
And the best part, your clients can watch their films directly on their TV with VidFlow's dedicated TV apps. No HDMI cables, no USB sticks. Just open the app on your TV and press play.
Built specifically for wedding and event filmmakers, VidFlow gives you everything you need in one place. Private galleries, streaming, downloads, and easy sharing.
You can also make the experience completely your own with your logo, color, fonts, website, and social links all built into the platform. So every gallery feels like an extension of your brand.
Visit vidflow.co/British Wedding Film Festival to get started. And as a listener of Beyond the Awards, you'll get your first 10 gigabytes of uploads on us.
I was a graphic designer. Always had a camera in hand. I used to be in bands and used to take lots of pictures when we were in the band of the bands that we were supporting and stuff like that. And it's one of those situations, if you have a camera, eventually you're going to be asked to do a wedding, aren't you? And I spent years saying no to it because I thought I couldn't think of anything worse. And then after my own wedding, my job was to choose a photographer because obviously I had an interest in photography. And that's when I saw this world of, it was documentary style photography at the time, which I didn't know that was even out there. And it blew my mind what people were doing. And we booked Andy Gaines to shoot our wedding, who is one of the co-founders of Nine Dots. And what he delivered to us, oh my God, it was just incredible. And I could tell from the day he was actually having fun on the day as well. He was having fun and he was creating art and he was creating something precious for people. And I was instantly hooked. And then, so from then on, the people that were asking me to shoot their wedding, I stopped saying no and started saying yes. And there was one of my friends who was in the band with me, Jonathan Coates. He was kind of taking pictures at the same time. He was doing more stuff with like models and kind of flash setups. And he said that he was interested in doing weddings as well. And I was scared to go into weddings, if I'm honest, on my own. But together we had a chat, and like between us, we had the right amount of gear for like what one wedding photographer would need, basically. So we thought if we join forces, maybe we can make a go of this, and you got a backup for each other. And then so we created a company called Coats and Stain at the time, which sounds like some kind of paint company, doesn't it? Which is what we lent into in the marketing. And we managed to book 13 weddings before we'd shot one, because we did our own style shoot back in the day before style shoots were a thing. And we were honest with people. We're saying, like, we're not shot a wedding, but this is how we'd want to shoot a wedding in this style. And obviously we were cheap enough and there was two of us. So we got a load of weddings and it just started flying, basically. And within a year, we realized that, with things like VAT and stuff, being together as a company with two of you, it makes no financial sense. You're better having two separate companies. You've got two separate VAT limits. So we split up separately, but still best of mates now to this day. And we then, our promise to each other was that we'll be each other's first referral. So then you got two marketing sources going out and getting work and sending work to each other. So we did really well. It took off really well. I won the regional tour a couple of times and things like that. But then my background, educational background, was I studied film production at Manchester Met, and my plan was I always wanted to be a film director. I thought that was my big plan. That's what I'd end up doing. And while I was at uni, I did a few jobs running on some TV production stuff. And my God, I hated every second of it. Like the people, just the way people are. It's just everyone's just so unkind to each other, just trying to get up the ladder. And I thought, this environment is not for me at all. So I kind of put that on the back burner and went the graphic design route instead. But I wanted to be the kind of director that does everything, like kind of almost guerrilla filmmaking, where you're doing the filming, you're doing the editing, you're doing everything. That's what like an indie filmmaker style. That's kind of what the route I wanted to take. But
careful what you wish for.
Exactly right. And then, so whenever I was at a wedding in the photo side, I was always quizzing the videographers because I had an interest in it. I thought I'd like to do it, but I was just put off by how complicated it all seemed. You know, back in the day when people were like using Zoom H1s with lav coming out of them, and it just seemed an insane setup, and I couldn't comprehend how these videographers are doing these things. But also, I was pretty uninspired by the video work I was seeing, and my vision was maybe like, you know, just a single camera with a 50mm 1.8 lens and building scenes up with tight shots would be how I'd imagine a wedding film would look awesome. And I wasn't seeing anything like that at the time. But then I accidentally bumped into Phil White, and I was chatting to him, and he was a videographer. Like, we were at this meetup with other photographers, and because he's a videographer, I went for my usual thing of quizzing him to death, trying to find out how he works. And me, I didn't
Very unlike you.
Exactly. Yeah, right. I didn't know anything about Phil at this time, and I was chatting to him. And I was saying, how do you shoot a day? And he goes, I shoot it mainly on an 85mm lens all day. And I was like, God, that sounds cool. Because that was similar to what I was thinking. And he's like, I like, you know, I build up the shot from lots of tight shots. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is right on exactly what I'm thinking. And I was like, the key thing was like, so, but what are you doing for audio? Because that was always what I was worrying. And he goes, oh, I've got these little Sony little sticks that I just put on people. And he'd randomly had one with him, I think, at the time. Because I think we were at our mate Jono's studio, so we had some there. And he showed it me. And I was like, oh my God, this literally is exactly what I'm expecting. Like, this is exactly what I want to be able to create wedding films like these circumstances. And he left the room. I can't remember why. And I went to Jono, who was his mate, and I go, oh, I love what Phil's saying about how he shoots weddings. You got any of his work to show me? And then obviously I had that epiphany moment when he showed me one of Phil's films. And if you've not seen like anything like that before, the first time you see a Phil White film, like, it blew my mind. Not only was the film incredible, but the way he was making it was so in line with what I was hoping. You know, simplicity, because I was a photographer. I wanted to shoot the wedding as freely as I always had done as a photographer. When every time I looked at videographers, they all were so encumbered with gimbals and, you know, all sorts of tripods and stuff. But I realized that his style of filmmaking would really match how I want to shoot. So I instantly booked on to do his in-person workshop. And from there, that's when it all started, really. It's kind of, I soon realized that Phil's style is not for me at all. It's not my personality. It's not who I am on a wedding day. And things changed from there. But he really was the blueprint for who I wanted to be as a filmmaker. But then I had this problem of being a wedding photographer that was well booked up for like 2 years in advance. And I wanted to then potentially move into video. But I got in touch with a few of my photography friends. I asked them, if any of you ever need a videographer, like if any of your couples ever need a videographer, I'd love to come along and do it for free if you're happy having me along. And a couple of mates said yes, and basically let me come along for free for a couple of their weddings. I think 3 weddings I did for free. And I loved it. I instantly loved it. It was exactly what I was hoping for.
What year was that, Roo?
2008. 2018 potentially, I think.
Okay.
It was around that time, 17, 18. I think I might have started doing the free ones around 2017, and 18 was when I decided to take it seriously, because I was dabbling with it. But then I had this thing where I couldn't get many video bookings in because I didn't have the space, because I had so many photo bookings. And I was going through my grandparents' wedding photos, and they've got one there's two wedding photos they got, one group shot and one of the two of them on their own. And I've told this story, I think I've told it at Coda, but my grandma was always in a wheelchair for my entire life. I'd only ever known her in a wheelchair. And in this photograph, she stood like I didn't, for some reason, I didn't comprehend that she ever could walk, even though I kind of knew. But when you see that picture, you're like, oh my God, yeah, my grandma could walk. I'd love to be able to see that. I'd love to, see her moving. And it just instantly hit me that, given the opportunity, if you're going to look at wedding photo, if you could only choose to look at your grandparents' wedding photos or their wedding film, you'd always pick their wedding film. And once that thought was in my head, honestly, it's almost like the interest in photography just dropped straight away. I was like, it's video. I just want to dedicate myself to video. And then COVID happened, which ended up being kind of a blessing in a way, from a business point of view. Even though I lost like 10 grand in deposits, because I was one of those people that was just refunding everything. But what it allowed me to do was I swapped some of those photo bookings for video ones when it came to rebooking, if that makes sense. So because they all postponed and moved different dates, it freed up opportunity for me to bring in video.
Got you.
So almost overnight, I was able to switch my business to video, and then kind of like never look back, really. Just been blazing forward with it. And it came to the point now when I soon overtook my photos, and then I couldn't get the photography bookings in because I was filled up with videos. So that was the transition.
What year did you win TWIA?
I think it's 22, 23. No,
I can see it there.
It's up at that, wow, they're the little regional ones. I'm going to check the trophy cabinet. What the like,
he's got a cabinet.
I've not got a cabinet. I've not even got a trophy.
Got
a buff trophy.
2024, but that's so basically you get so you win the regional version in 23, don't you? Then the national of that is then in 24. So yeah.
So that was the first time you came onto my radar.
Because, right.
Yeah, because I was judging TWIA with I think there was a few judges by that point. And yeah, you stood out by a mile, man. Yeah, especially that one that the drone shot directly down on the pool. Oh, I don't think it was the pool. It was the jetty, was it? People running down the jetty and jumping into the lake?
Yeah, in Isle of Arran.
Yeah. Well-worthy winner then, absolutely. Yeah,
Thank you, man.
Love that. And I love seeing you coming up and, getting your trophy and everything in London. It's great.
And instantly breaking it. Which
I think that's a theme, isn't it? I've heard so many stories of people breaking it.
Yeah, I've done it twice. Chris Potter's done it as well.
Apologies to Damien, but they're not buff trophies, are they? Let's face it.
Exactly. You're not breaking one of yours. Jesus Christ. No. That night though, that kind of like that TWIA night was the catalyst for pretty much everything that then happened for me because I've been I was in the TWIA nationals before up against the Lawson, so obviously you don't stand a chance. But that night, you go into this big dark room. There's no phone signal down there. You don't know where anybody is. And it's almost like you're competing against people in the dark and it feels horrible. And that word competing is how it feels. Like it just felt this scary thing. And when you don't even though you're not expecting anything, there's always a bit of disappointment because you go into these awards thinking, you never know, right? You never know. And I remember it just being a bad feeling that you go there and think that this can't feel good for anybody. So when it came to the next nationals when I was in it, I made a point of contacting all the videographers. I was like, guys, shall we all meet up before and just have a good chat, and get to know each other and, just so we cheer each other on and stuff. So we all met up before in a pub before we went to the event, had drinks and had chats, and it was amazing. It was the best thing ever because soon they're not people you're competing against. They're colleagues, they're friends. And you get to that point when you're down and you're thinking, I don't care who wins. I'm going to be so happy for any of these people. I'm going to be absolutely delighted for them. And so we did that. And when my name was called out, and they celebrated harder than me, I think, honestly, like it was amazing. It was such an amazing feeling because you get this thing called which I describe as like winner's guilt. And I saw Alex from Molehill at it this year. He saw him in the corner just looking a bit quiet. And it's because you feel guilty that you almost feel guilty that you're taking an award away from other people. It's a really strange feeling, but to have those people around you supporting you and push you on, it makes you're able to enjoy it. And that was kind of like the idea of like, that's how with Coda, I wanted to make sure we can build this for everybody. If we all get to know each other, if we all become like colleagues, then when it comes to like these competitions and these awards, you're in it together and you're just as happy for other people winning it as you are yourself. But when you do it in isolation, it's kind of scary and you kind of, I don't know, it does feel like a competition rather than kind of trying to better yourself, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And just before we go back to that, just sticking to the filmmaking stuff, how would you describe your creative voice today? Because I know your creative voice, your voice in the industry is bigger than just being a filmmaker, and we'll talk about this. But creatively, as far as your films, how would you describe that?
Well, how would I describe my filmmaking style, kind of?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's, I guess, I don't know. It's evolved. I tell you what, it's evolved so much over like the last 18 months as well. But I used to always describe it as like cinematic storytelling, which is the most generic thing ever.
Never heard anyone say that.
Right? Yeah. I get my initially when I was first filmmaking, I think I went wedding filmmaking. I got into it because I wanted to make cool looking wedding films, right? And I think that's such a male approach to this industry as well. You're going in thinking, I want to make things look cool. I want to make it look like a movie. And you're like, what gear can I buy to make things look like that? And I was almost going into these weddings trying to imprint my idea of what the aesthetic should be on this wedding, regardless of what that wedding was like. I was trying to create a Phil White film, no matter what that wedding day is, rather than going to that day, experiencing it, know what's important for the couple, knowing what the stories are, and then just presenting that. I was trying to force my idea on it, and I think I was like that for a long time, man. And I was to the point where I'd get upset when the light wasn't perfectly right in certain situations and stuff. And it's almost embarrassing to look back on that now. And I was like that for a long time. But more recently, I'm going into the wedding, looking at it at an emotional level, and seeing what is important to that couple, and who are the characters, and who are these kind of like, what are these relationships, and then how can I best present those relationships, but also this day and how it felt. So that's how I'm approaching it now. But it's it's a process. I'm not there yet. I'm doing my best. But there's so many filmmakers out there at the minute that are absolutely crushing that, and I'm finding them insanely inspiring. So does that answer your question? I'm basically
it does.
It's a difficult question, that, isn't it? It is a bit
it is.
One. Well,
he answered it well.
You won Educator of the Year.
Yes.
At the British Wedding Film Festival.
Love
That's
that.
pretty cool. That. So, it's a huge achievement, obviously. So there must have been a moment, previously, there must have been a moment that you realised you wanted to share your knowledge rather than keep the secret sauce to yourself. Can you remember what the catalyst was?
It's never. I've never, to be honest with you, that there's never ever been a thought in my mind of keeping things to myself at all, ever. I mean, anything I've learned has been. But I'm like that in life. Like I don't have many secrets because everything just comes out of my mouth. I don't really think before I speak. But I've got to where I have from people being really kind with their time and their knowledge, and it's always a case of I've always passed on whatever knowledge I've got. And I guess it helps that, say, back in the day with photography days, me and Jonathan started together. So there was two of us. So you're sharing ideas with each other anyway. Then when we met other people, we've always been good at getting groups of people around us and wanting to create colleagues basically and create that kind of office workspace. I've always been keen on doing that. So I've always clung on to people I really admire and then brought them in and then become my friends. So I've always been in an environment of sharing ideas and sharing resources and just to make life better for everybody, right? We all want to create great films for our couples, and we're running businesses to support our families. And if you can do something to help someone do that more effectively, why wouldn't you? And I think potentially maybe the industry wasn't like this before I came into it. Maybe I just came into it it was a more sharing environment, but I've never come across gatekeeping from anybody really. And if you're gatekeeping, that's because you want to make money from it, right? I imagine you're either scared because you think people are going to take the work away from you, or you want to monetize the knowledge you've got. But the ironic thing is, by sharing stuff, you end up getting work anyway, because I share work with my friends, they share work with me, and it's this cycle that you're always going to get more benefit from being open and helpful, I think.
No, I mean, if I'm honest, it's kind of been like that since I started, back in, when was it? 19 years ago.
Wow.
It just seemed like I mean, people I'd find people online like heroes, and I'd message them and they'd message back straight away. It's just wow, this is a great, world community. Yeah. There are exceptions, obviously. I won't mention any names. Well,
it's very few and far between though, isn't it? But I think the kind of gatekeeping can come from a fear of people. You think people are going to take your work from you. But if you become friends with these people, then any fear goes away, because you just want, it's similar to with the awards, you want them to do well. And if you want people to do well, then there was a story, I think, I'm going to quote Ed Sheeran here, but I found this super interesting. It really resonated with me. I think there was an up and coming singer-songwriter that was coming. Was it Jason Mraz? Would it be him? Let's say that anyway. I don't. So he was finding, Ed was finding himself, let's call him Ed, my boy Ed. He was finding himself was super jealous. Jason Mraz was coming up new. He was the new version of him. He felt, he's better looking, he's younger, he's got these hit songs. But what he did, he reached out and he built up a friendship with him. And as soon as they became friends, I didn't feel jealous anymore. Anything he achieves, I'm super happy for him. And I think that's what people should do in any industry, in any walk of life. If you find yourself being jealous, become their friend. You won't be jealous anymore. You'll just be grateful of their successes for them.
Let's talk about Coda, because you said TWIA, the awards now, was the catalyst for a lot of things, including TWIA, right? That's where the idea kind of stemmed from
Coda.
For Coda, I mean, right?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of, I don't know how far to take it back. I don't want to bore you too much, but talking about like kind of community before, when I was making the move over to video, I started searching for people that I really liked their work and contacted them and basically quizzing them, basically doing what I do in Coda, really, like in terms of the podcast. But and basically befriended these people. And there's a core group of like 10 of us. And every year we meet up and we do a retreat. Like we rent out an Airbnb and we all present like a film and we all discuss it and we all present topics and stuff, and some people do like a mini little talk, like a mini little keynote. So it's basically like a real hands-on version of what Coda ended up becoming. And doing those every year has been one of the best things that I've done for my business. So we do that every year. Then we're all constantly chatting in a WhatsApp group. We all support each other. We shoot for each other, those kind of things. It's been single-handedly the best thing for my business ever, and for your mental health as well, having these people there. And I just always thought, like, I want this for everyone. Like, I'd love to be able to give this to everybody. And I was always saying to her, let's get more people in the group. Let's get more people in the group. But the bigger it gets, the harder it gets to handle. Like, you can't go and do a retreat with like 30 odd people. We tried. It just gets too complicated. So the kind of grains of Coda were there, and I thought I need to do a bigger event. But then there was all these filmmakers that we thought we'd love to get them to the retreat so we can quiz them. But if you want to get these big name videographers to come in, you've got to pay for them, haven't you? So it then becomes this thing, right? Okay, we'll have to sell tickets to get these people to come, and we can just hear from them. So the idea was always just something I wanted for me. Really, it was like an event where I can hear videographers speak that I really like, to be able to learn from them, but also then that create a community for everybody to get together, on a larger scale. And then that night on the TWIA night really sealed it. It was like, no, this is definitely something I want to do now. Like when we got together, those was it like kind of, would it be like 5 of us or so, something? It was the 2 Beckys, I remember, Dan, Ali, Aidan, and Phil London. Like that group, like we'd never met each other before, but to instantly get on and be cheering each other on, you're thinking, we need to get these people together more often, man. So then I started pitching the idea to other people, hoping they'd do it for me. So I spoke to the guys at Elevate, Mick and Ash, and but a lot of people, videographers, we've been considered the weird bunch out of the suppliers. Like, I think it's because quite often videographers maybe sit quietly on the day, not quite as extroverted as photographers are. So photographers had this big, massive community. You got like 9 Dots, Snap, you got Elevate, you got all those events. There was nothing for videographers. And when I was talking to these people that were doing these events, they were kind of, I don't think videographers want that. They're not that kind of people, they're not community based. And I was thinking, they absolutely are. They massively are. Like, I've got a community of 10 of us. I know loads of other people. I'm sure they'll be up for it. And I spoke to the 9 Dots lads. And Andy was like, yeah, you should do that. And I was like, oh no, I was thinking you'd do it. And he was like, no, we'll help you. We can support you if you want. So basically they took all the financial risk for the first Coda, because I was thinking, this is just going to cost me money. And I remember there was something going on at the time. I think something with mortgages and so I basically didn't have the money to do anything. So they took all the financial risk. They said, yeah, we'll put it up. And then, if it is lost, then we'll pay out for it. And hopefully over time we'll be able to build it up, which was incredible on their part. So I spoke to the people I wanted to have involved, and they all said yes for a start, which was amazing. I thought, and I think maybe winning TWIA helped a little bit, because I got a little bit I was in people's minds then. I wasn't just completely random. I was mates with Phil and stuff, but like I got him for like the second one. But I knew the Lawsons pretty well and stuff, and they said yes early doors. They were like the first ones I think I wanted on, the Lawsons. And all these people said yes. I was like, okay, that's a great start. And I was speaking to Andy and stuff like, what venue do I get? And they were like, we'll stagger it. So we'll start off at one venue, and we'll reckon we'll probably get about 40 people. If we get 40 people, we'll be okay. And we put the tickets on sale.
You sold out.
Yeah, it sold out fast. I hadn't put the limit on the tickets either, because I didn't think I'd need to. Right? I thought, if anything, we're making some kind of loss here. But then it went past that, and I was like, oh crap, what do we do now? So then we had to scale up the venue, and it ended up going all the way up to what we use now, which is the Everyman Cinema. So there was clearly a need for this that we didn't like. I thought there would be, but then you do start doubting yourself, don't you?
Mm-hmm,
and it sold out within 48 hours. And yeah, right. Yeah. And it absolutely blew my mind. And then the first Coda, it went along so well. And then it's just been selling out each year like so quickly that it's just been incredible, really.
You must have done something like so right. And I feel
just timing. I think I just got lucky that I was the first one to do it for video.
I feel I have to mention Leanne because all this talk of like
Rise.
The new community is like there has been a community all along, but never a big kind of conference like that. I mean, I did a few things, but it was more kind of workshop based and then piss up based. Basically, we just get a lot of videographers to Spain and get pissed for 3 days. But it was
ideal.
Leanne really, sort of, she did Rise, and she put everything into that, and pretty much everyone went. It was a huge success. So I can't wait to get Leanne on the podcast actually to find out what went. What happened from then on. Obviously it's very stressful, very difficult, very financially.
Leanne's the OG. I learned so much from Leanne because for me, it's similar to like Nine Dots where it's like multi-day. And that I straight away realized, I thought, I don't want to do multiple day. I want it to be a 1 day thing where people can come in and out if they want to. It's not as big a commitment because like with Rise, everyone that went to Rise said it's the most incredible thing ever. Like, Aaron Kenny's still banging on about it now. Like it was one of the pivotal moments in his life, I think. But it was quite a big commitment, wasn't it? It was like a multiple day thing, and it was expensive just because it was cheap for what it was, but in terms of like an investment for people. So I knew that if I went for a 1 day and maybe to keep the price down a little bit, it might be a little bit more appealing. And because it's not as big a commitment then, basically. But it was, Leanne blazed the trail basically for me to kind of then get
and I just remembered
afterwards.
actually there were things before that as well. There was a thing called Shadows and Light, and there was a thing called For Love's Sake.
For Love's Sake, that was in Europe, wasn't it? That
they did one in London.
And when Shadows and Light, the lads that used to do the podcast,
This Week in Weddings. Was another one. That was another one. Shadows and Light was Philip Bloom and Fraser Magura.
Okay.
And that was like
that's not weddings though, is it? Because Philip Bloom hates weddings.
Well, Fraser splintered off and did a total, just a pure wedding one. And actually, it was while attending that Leanne had the idea that she wanted to do her own because she was like, I could do better than this, So that sparked off Leanne's thing. But the guys that did the podcast, what was their thing called? They did
This Week in Weddings, was it called or something like that?
Yes, Our Week in Video, the podcast was called. So they had conferences as well, but none of these really took off to the extent that yours did. So. The secret sauce is there somewhere. Maybe it's the 1 day thing, but you've definitely done something right. So well done for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And having attended them, you do feel, I love going because it's the idea again. It's this, I think the most important thing I take from Coda is this community thing. Yeah. Because it's great to hear from speakers. And I think we all love that, particularly in our industry where we are isolated. So actually seeing how others do it is so interesting. But then the idea of community, just actually getting to meet people for a day. Otherwise, you just, we are on our own 360, on our own creatively. And to talk about our challenges and our successes, like it's great to actually have that platform to do it with people, Yeah,
it's the most important bit for me is that community thing. And it's getting better every year because every year people know more people as they go. Like you meet people each year, and I saw something I could have cried at. It was as someone tagged me in the story, and it was a video group chat that a bunch of videographers that were doing they have like a monthly catch up, and they all met at Coda, and I was like, like if Coda ends tomorrow, like that, if I just achieved that, then it was everything was worth it. It was well worth it.
I've got a question about Coda and the speakers specifically. How do you curate the speakers? How do you select them so that it's not just big names, but actually people want to hear from them? And I know the two go hand in hand, but what's your curation process for speaker selection?
It's people that I think have got something interesting to say and interesting to talk about. And I am I am a massive wedding nerd. So I know it's not cool to watch wedding films, and a lot of your guests will come on and say they don't watch wedding films. I'm the complete opposite. I can't get enough of it. I love it. I love seeing the different ways people can achieve. Wedding filmmakers are achieving miracles every single weekend. It's insane what people are achieving with the restrictions, the one shot. It's a live event, like all these things, and like it blows my mind. And whereas I'd say I can see you guys, and especially Jeff. I see Jeff as a filmmaker who happens to do weddings. Like you're kind of, do you know what I mean? Like you're a proper filmmaker. Whereas I think I'm a videographer. I think I'm a videographer. Like I love wedding filmmaking specifically. So I'm always taking it in, and I'm always been inspired by people. When I'm inspired by someone, I think, what is it I'm inspired by them, and think, what would I like to know from them? And it's just basically a collection of people with things that I want to learn from. So it's quite selfish, I guess, in a way. But what I'm trying to do is balance it. So I'm learning every year as it goes, but I feel like maybe last year we had the spread of maybe international big names was too much, and people that were working in big groups. I want to try and make Coda relatable, but then you guys will be able to relate to this as well. So I want to make it relatable, but also inspirational as well, aspirational as well, but with the right balance.
Sweet spot, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's difficult to please all the people.
Exactly, and we're never going to. But it's a case that I want people look up to and think, even though they think they're never going to create that kind of work, just to know that this is what people have achieved. So what can you take from that? And then I want it to be brought home as well with relatable content. And we've had like Bronte and Becky Thompson absolutely smashing it in terms of talking to who we are as filmmakers in the UK market. So the idea is to inspire and elevate the UK market specifically, really. That we're bringing people from overseas, but then we're bringing great UK people. And I'm constantly trying to work on the balance of what's best to be shown, and the speakers are curated on what they're going to talk about as well, because occasionally I've had it like in the first one, this was intentional, where we would have like conflicting kind of stories. So Bronte's and the Costa sisters example, completely different outlooks. And that's what I want, because I don't want there to be one single message. I want there almost to be a buffet of ideas and methods, and then you can take what you want from it and learn what you want from it, because I want to try and inspire as many different people and a variety of filmmakers as possible, really.
Yeah, got you. Nice.
And
you've got one of our winners this year in your lineup. You've got +2.
+2, yeah. One thing I am good at, I feel like if there was a championship manager for for wedding videographers, I seem quite good at spotting the talent early doors, because I'm booking them a lot earlier than actually it's been released, because I have to get them nailed down. So Romavera, I got them in, and then they went crazy before Coda.
So you get them on the cheap now, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You scout talent, and then
+2 were we're sky high at the time anyway. And I can't tell you how hard it is to get two chilled out Dutch lads to nail down to a date, like kind of like 18 months in advance. It's almost impossible to. But yeah, so +2 are going to be there, and I just cannot wait to learn from them. We had a catch-up chat a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just super excited to get them out there.
Now, Roo, apologies, I've not actually been to Coda yet.
I know, Jeff.
I will fix that. But I read here that you don't take to the stage yourself. So,
no, I do. I introduce the people, and I do generally do an outro, but I'm the host, just the host.
Because, I'd be interested to learn from you as well. Because, you said before you're not a filmmaker. You are a filmmaker. I've seen a visual ellipsis in some of your work. And it's just like that. That is filmmaker stuff. So yeah.
Well, if you explain what that means, then I'll be
I'm sure you've done it, Roo. That's all you need to know.
Ellipsis, that's what we had last night, weren't it? Don't look at it. It'll make you blind.
Someone spins around, and then it cuts to later on in the day where they're spinning around in the same way. That's
oh ellipsis. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, maybe I'm a filmmaker.
Yeah. With all these things, when you learn what everything's called, you kind of find out that you use it all anyway. You just didn't know there was a name for it.
I remember mise en scene from my uni days. Can't remember. I remember that was a cool word.
I've never heard that. What's that mean?
Isn't that kind of things that are in the frame that kind of make you think something? Like it's put there intentionally, like props to give the idea of an environment. I think.
Right.
Is that right? Is that French? Is mise en scene French? What's it mean?
Sounds
Joss?
French.
It says mise en scène, please.
Yes.
That's the correct pronunciation.
Yeah, sorry. My bad. Mise en
Yes, it
scène.
is. Yes, that's right. It's basically like setting up. That's literally, it's just setting up a scene. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
there we go. Well,
Who
who knew I was so fluent in French?
I can't say.
So yeah, you should
I
take
can't
to the
say a
stage.
role, but I can say.
Yeah, you just taught me a bit about the theory of filmmaking, so you should definitely get on stage.
But it's not for Coda though. It's not about me at all. It is, like I said, it was created because it's something I wanted to attend. And it's been built around that, what, people I want to learn from. And it's about I'm literally just the organizer of an event to get everyone there on the day. It's nothing about me at all. And I don't think I'm even mentioned on the website, am I? And the reason I bring that up is because I'm thinking it'd be quite useful if I did mention myself on the website, because it might help with AI search and Google search and stuff. So that's why I was considering putting it on. But at the same time, I think, is it a bit tacky that I'm mentioned on there? Like, I don't know. I want Coda to be everyone's. Like, I want the filmmaking community to own Coda. I don't want it to be me. And when we first launched Coda, it had the 9 Dots logo and it had my logo on it as well. And then I got rid of that as soon as I could, because I thought that's just a bit, I don't know, it doesn't feel right. I don't want people to think that I'm just trying to boost my personal profile, because I'm really not. Like, I know I do things like the podcast and stuff, but the podcast is literally just to promote Coda, really. So, like, it's marketing for Coda, but it's things that I wanted to do. Like, I would listen to podcasts and I'd get frustrated that people weren't asking certain questions, and I'd be like, why didn't they dig deeper on that, and why didn't they ask this? So I thought if I ever had a podcast, I'd like really dig deep on these questions. And in the build up to Coda, loads of podcasts were asking if they were happy for us to interview the speakers for Coda. And Andy and Raoul from 9 Dots were like saying, you should do that instead. Like, rather than other people doing it, you do your own podcast and then you interview, and it becomes part of the whole, it becomes like a marketing, advertising thing for it as well. And I was like, oh, awesome. Like, that's something I'd love to do. Now I've got a reason to be able to do it. And because I just love quizzing people about filmmaking. So it became this thing that I love doing, and it's helpful for the brand as well. So win-win. But I feel rather than kind of like an educator, I kind of see myself more of a journalist, I guess. That's how my approach to it. As you guys probably know when I've quizzed you guys on the podcast.
Yeah, well, I was going to say.
Joss has took the worst of me on 2 occasions, and like,
yeah, I did go on your pod
and
twice.
Come up shining every time, man. Yeah. I do apologize.
That's all right.
So you mentioned, you created it because it didn't exist and it's something that you wanted, which is a good segue to the British Winning Film Festival, because that is exactly how the Lawsons and Joss and I felt about something missing. So that's why we created it. So what did receiving, that recognition from your peers mean to you?
The Edge, it's probably it's probably the best award I received, like, because to feel that award, it's basically telling me that I'm putting something back and giving something back. And that's all I really want to do, really, is if I have any kind of success in this industry, I kind of want to put double back in. And receiving that, really, it felt really special. And because a lot of people say to me how much they enjoy the podcast and stuff, but then to get like a physical kind of reminder of that, it's like, because it's like doing these podcasts and stuff and organizing the events. It's a very thankful task. It's thankless task, isn't it? Throughout the year, you always have to work hardest on it when it's the hardest point for your business as well. And what I have noticed with anyone that does kind of like organize events in the past was you see their output of their work drop as well. I think their priorities change. Maybe the event stuff takes over. And it was very, very important to me that doesn't happen, that I keep improving the quality of Coda, but also my filmmaking keeps improving as well. And it's just hard. It is so hard to do that. And then when you get some recognition and it's kind of people are acknowledging what you've done and like you're saying that you're doing a good job, it just feels amazing. And I wasn't expecting anything at all that night. And it was, I just love these any opportunity for us all to get together. And a night like that where we get to dress up so smart, we all get to celebrate each other. And that's what I was keen on as well. It's a celebration of everybody. And it felt like that because this community gets together a few times now. We go to Glasgow in February, we come to Coda, now we've got the awards. It's a chance to get together and go, look how well we've all done. And you've done so well at this, you've done so well at that. We celebrate, and then we go to a gay karaoke and get pissed up. You can't beat it, really.
Whereas this time you do it with a bow tie. Yeah,
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Generally, I obviously go to the ones I usually go to. They've already got my first song set up for me because I'm there so often. But this time, dress smart.
Did winning that change your view on how you impact the industry? Does it solidify how you feel your voice is heard now and listened to in the industry?
It's not my voice though. That's the key thing. It's not supposed to be my voice. I'm kind of like the in between. I'm finding people that I think people should hear from, and then giving them a platform. Kind of. I don't want it to feel like it's me. But it feels nice to get the kind of recognition for like working hard at doing that. But yeah, I don't think anyone listens to like anything to do with Coda because it's me specifically or anything I'm doing in the filmmaking world. But I think that what makes me potentially good at it is the fact that I'm not a superstar filmmaker. I'm someone that wants to learn and wants to get better. So I know what other people, the majority of the people that are listening are kind of in my boat as well. So I know what they want to hear and what they want, the questions they want to ask. And I always want to be that like forever curious person. There's a company name drop there. Yeah. Like kind of like relentlessly curious person who's always going to get the right information to be able to get that out of these superstars and just great filmmakers and get it out there for people to learn from, basically.
I guess you're touching on the secret sauce here, aren't you? You know, it's not just the fact it's one day. It's that total removal of ego. Because that's the one thing that's going to put people off going to something is because, you know, the person that's in charge of it all has an ego. So it's the fact that there's absolutely no ego there whatsoever. So it's just, it's a great thing.
It's a weird one because I do feel like I've got no ego, but then I feel like only a person with an ego has said they've got no ego, right? But honestly, if I was going to break myself down, I do think I'm quite an average filmmaker, but I'm trying to be so much better, and I'm constantly learning all the time. And I think, but that potentially is my superpower for this, is being someone that wants to be better. No, rather than someone who thinks they're great and, you know, there's nothing you can teach me. Like, I've got so much to learn and so much to grow. And I really hope while I'm learning, other people are learning at the same time. I'm kind of like this just in between man. That's the middleman, passing information on from great people.
So what do you think of the current standard of British wedding filmmakers?
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Like, it's getting better all the time as well. I think we are at a point right now that's quite trend driven, and you are seeing filmmakers kind of fall down that trap a little bit, but that's going to balance and even out, because what these trends that are, and when I say trends, I'm thinking like kind of people using slow shutter to get like a bit of motion blur, loads of Super 8, kind of like the whip pans and stuff. What that is, though, is experimentation. So even though it's trends, it's taken filmmakers completely out their comfort zone. They're experimenting with different things. They're putting them all in the film at the minute because they feel they have to, but they're going to land somewhere in the middle. But because they've been adventurous for the first time, I think it's just going to create an even greater level of wedding filmmaking, and particularly British wedding filmmaking. And there's some people out there at the minute that are just absolutely blowing my mind. And we're seeing the rise of female wedding filmmakers as well, because for whatever reason, I think I've got a few theories. There is, you might see from like what you get in terms of applications, but I see from tickets from Coda, it seems to be mainly male dominated, whereas the photo world, from my experience, is the opposite. And a lot of that is probably like it's seen as boys messing about with gear and like cameras and stuff. And like, if you want to buy cameras and gear, videography is the one you go into because we need the most gear and stuff, right? But all my favorite wedding filmmakers at the minute are female. And it's because they're going into the wedding day emotion first. They are capturing the emotion of the day and then presenting that. Whereas lads quite often go in and like I said earlier, like they just want to get cool shots and stuff. And it's like, and that's how I was. I was just trying to make cool shots. No matter what that wedding day, and I was like, right, I've got this cool shot. I've got this cool shot. How do I make this work on this wedding day that doesn't match that at all? And so there's loads of filmmakers out there. I don't know. I could name check forever, but there's one guy I really want to mention as well because he only went full time in December. It's Craig Galley. I don't know if you're aware of his work, but he's Northwest. He is blowing my mind, and I know his style fits very much into the. Do you know how like the +2, you're in close, you're in wide, you're kind of documenting, you've got lots of ambient audio. He is the UK version of that. He's going to, because he's quite early. I mean, I think he's been shooting like 4 years or so, but only full time since December. I've been trying to get him on a podcast, but he keeps turning me down because he thinks he's got nothing to teach. But everyone has got something to teach, no matter how long you've been doing this. If anything, if you're newer, you're better because you've got a new perspective. But he's shooting quite a bit of anamorphic lenses at the minute. I reckon you'd like that, Jeff. He's been really interested with his lens choice. Craig Galley, and his edits. There's no chronological order to his edits. They're in chapters of emotion. This is how I'd describe it and break it down. For each section of this film, it's almost like he's got an emotion that he wants to portray. And he's putting whatever footage it is that portrays that emotion, he puts that in. But check his work out because he brings humor into it as well. Because I think, especially he brings humor, but it's English. It's very British. It's not relying on really, exotic locations and supermodel couples. It is so relatable, and he's dragging every element out of it that he possibly can. He's getting everything out of that wedding. If you watch that wedding back and it was your wedding, like you blow your mind. And he just really interesting. It goes against filmmaking technique because for example, like the bridesmaid reveal, he was holding the camera dad reveal. He's holding the camera handheld and he's moving around, and you're very aware that he's filming it. But then it's got this documentary feel to it, and it's just so I'd sit there and I'll sit through one of his 15-minute films, and it's like a blink of an eye. It's just so engaging. And there's people like him that it's check him out. But I'll show it to other people. It's very Marmite as well with people because if I show it to my mates who are like very established and they've been shooting for all they see are the technical faults. When I'm like, don't look at that. It does that's part of his charm. He's capturing emotion. He's not worrying about the stylistics of it, but he's got beautiful shots as well. Don't get me wrong, but every single element of it is like, how can I portray these people and this day, these relationships? And it's similar to, I want to name check Catherine as well. I don't know why I'm blagging on about all widow filmmakers now, but Catherine Abel Smith, she won Breakthrough Filmmaker
she's been on that pod,
Yeah, she is phenomenal. Like, you watch her longer films and she's getting better and better and better. There was one section in a film where it's groom prep, but like the groom's in the pub and like they're just coming to greet him. They call it an usher's lunch, don't they? That's some of these weddings. And I think she just sat there filming it, like kind of straight up, like quite long shots, so engaging. Like, and you're getting an idea who this person is and who his friends are just by their interactions. And it's the complete opposite of how I was filming. I was always filming short takes, trying to make them pretty, stripping out any kind of ambient. Like, I'd get like couples when they're saying, "Oh, we're going to have this musical performance on a wedding day." I'm thinking, well, that's no use to me. That's not going to be in the film. But these people are putting all of that in, natural audio from the day, and making it work in these really engaging edits. And not only is it great filmmaking, but it is the best possible thing a couple can receive. It really encapsulates their day. It's not a filmmaker's stamp. It's not a filmmaker's template. It's that wedding day created beautifully. And there's so much of that going on out there now. It's blowing my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's all interlinked with the fact that there's so much like amazing kind of like production value now that people are bored of it. You know, back in my day, you'd have your socks knocked off by a glide cam or a slider. You'd be like, oh, it's like. But now, with the cameras now, you could just take a camera out of a bag and just make amazing footage without trying. So people are so bored of that. And as well, you mentioned that the uprise of female filmmakers. I think there's like something even bigger on the horizon. Phones are getting better and better.
Oh yeah.
And there's an army of content creators that potential is massive. You know, they're holding these things thinking, oh yeah, it's only a phone, without even realizing how good it is. You know, and as soon as they cut on and start to make amazing cinematic, well, not even cinematic, just work that's totally engaging. You know, the sky's the limit with creativity, especially, like you say, with the influx of more females. Like when I started, there weren't any, women videographers. You know, obviously, you know, I'm exaggerating. There will be kind of exceptions, but it was all dude in a suit keeping himself to himself with a massive camera. You know, so it is exciting. You know, where things are going.
It definitely is. It's like the whole content. If you want to know where you need to take your business, look at content creators, because the clues are all there. And you've seen it happen now. Like they market themselves as I don't know. You've seen it quite often where they're saying we capture the things, the in between moments that the videographer doesn't capture. But again, we're capturing all the same stuff as us. But the reason they're saying that is that we've not been presenting that. But the power of a doc edit, like. These days, like we can outsell the content creators if we push doc edits, because it's basically what the content creators are getting better. Like it's all the in between moments, it's the ambient audio. But our edits in the past have been crap. That's why content creators have come up, because all these in between moments we're capturing, we're stripping out because they're not pretty enough for us. But then you get people like Becky Thompson on her films. She lets the long moments play out. She does like a really beautifully refined kind of her feature film is like a beautifully refined doc edit. It's doing it disservice calling it a doc edit because it is beautiful, but she lets moments play out, and that's what content creators are trying to sell. But no one can do it better than the videographer if they're given it, if they put their mind to it. And there was all these gaps in us as a videographer, and the content creator is filling them all. Like at the moment, I've got like 2 saxophonists in my DMs, desperate for me to send them footage, which I can't get onto for 12 weeks time. But a content creator would be pumping it out straight away. And if I had a process to pump that stuff out, that would create referrals for me. There's all these missed opportunities. Content creators are the clues. But the main thing is, it's the barrier to entry is dropped. So you are putting opportunity in the hand of actual artists now, people that just want to create for the creative sake. Before they might have been intimidated, like I was originally, by like audio and stuff. Now I just need my phone. So you get these super creative people, no barrier to entry, going in. There's going to be wonderful stuff created by them soon enough. But I do think every content creator, bit by bit, you'll incrementally want to improve your quality. You just end up being a videographer. But I was speaking to Alfie from Cleat Visuals, and he says he just refers to content creators as videographers because that's it. They're just videographers marketed different. Yeah. So
I agree with that.
We're all the same, one and the same.
They're more videographers than videographers. all as videographers, like we make like creative films. So we're the content creators. The content creators make videos. So they're the videographers. So we just swap the names around. Exactly.
But I look at the content creators and I'm quite jealous in terms of their freedom on the day, because they don't have to deliver speeches and ceremony stuff. They can go around getting the cool little bits. But I've added a package to my packages, which is the light package, which is just me, one camera, no speeches, no ceremony. It's just B-rolling the entire day. And I had a few people book it, but all of them ended up upgrading to my normal package closer to the date. And I was so frustrated. But tomorrow is my first wedding where they're sticking with it. So I get to just go around with one camera, my 28-70, and just capture it B-roll. I'll be able to spend last minute with the bride. I won't be having to worry about tripods. Nice. And I'm really excited about how that's going to open me up creatively. What's the word? I can't
Creatively.
Yeah. Yes. I have to rely on Jocelyn's second language. Bloody hell. Thanks, mate. Me's on scene. And it's going to be interesting how this might influence my work going forward, because for so long now, I've been thinking, why is so much of my time spent worrying about setting up these multicam things that, let's be honest, how often are they going to watch them back? Obviously, I need the important chunks for the film, but I shouldn't be leaving a really cool moment with bride and dad early just to set up a tripod to deliver this thing. Will it free me up to maybe just be a bit more loosey-goosey with those multicams and favour more creative shots and more time spent with people rather than putting up tripods? It'd be interesting to see how it evolves.
Absolutely. You've got a great day ahead of you, man. I've done this
That's gonna be
once.
fun, yeah.
I've done this once, and I did it with a phone rather than a camera. I could have done it with a camera, and it was the least stress I've ever had at a wedding. It was just, I enjoyed it. I actually just enjoyed every bit of it, and it might be related to the fact that I could have a shower halfway through the day as well. But
film that.
Well, yeah,
intermission halfway through.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like the coolness of a photographer with none of the responsibilities. It's like the kind of like the
So I'm
perfect combo.
I'm gonna hit you up and find out how you found it.
Yeah.
So is that tomorrow? Is it?
That's tomorrow at Sign Park as well, so it's a really good venue. So it's a good shout. But part of me is like going, what if they ask for the ceremony afterwards? So do I just stick up a static at the back, maybe? But I'm going to try and... I spoke to someone the other day and they said they're really not interested in the speeches because they've had friends before that didn't want to watch their film because they didn't like the speeches. So I think for the speeches, I'll set up wide, maybe, because that'll only take me a couple of seconds. But just so they've got something if need be. But part of me is worried that they'll ask for these things. But at the same time, I'm not going to get the benefit unless I completely give myself to this one camera thing.
Even if you just get one angle of the speeches. Because you only need one angle to interweave them into the film. But anyway.
But then I'll B-roll reactions and that kind of stuff. And
I think I know the answer to this one because you mentioned it. Favorite lens?
28-70.
Yes.
F2. But if you'd asked me like 18 months ago, it would have been the 55 1.8. But I'm now a convert to zoom. I'm never going back. Never going
One
back.
word answers.
Sorry. You know me now, Jeff. Sorry. Yeah. We've got to wrap this up.
Favorite part of the wedding day to film?
Dad reveal.
Dad reveal.
That wasn't one word, was it? Dad.
But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Right, a film, not a wedding film, everyone should watch.
Before Sunrise by Richard Linklater.
Oh.
Have you not seen it? My God. I'm not allowed to talk about it. It's incredible. But just don't read what it's about because it sounds the most boring film ever. But it's basically two people that meet, get off on a train, just chat. And the whole film is just following them as they have a conversation. And they ends up being a trilogy. They do a film every 9 years. There's 3 of them now. There's Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, and Before Midnight. All
brilliant.
Absolute masterclass films. Please watch that film. Please.
One filmmaker who inspires you.
Catherine Abel-Smith from Kaz Films.
Coffee or energy?
I'm going for a wedding filmmaker because it's me. Obviously, I'm not going to go for
coffee or energy drinks during editing.
Pepsi Max Cherry.
Ooh.
I quit caffeine because I can't handle it. So there's a little bit in Pepsi Max, but coffee kills me off. I can't focus. I get anxiety.
What's changed the most since you started?
Inquiries for people, I think. When we first started, it was so easy to get bookings. And I think over the last few years, multiple factors have meant that it's harder for people to get work, I think.
What's the most overrated trend in wedding filmmaking?
Super 8 is a piece of shit. Makes no sense. I hate it. It's fucking pointless. I could go on for hours. Camcorders, amazing. You hand them to a guest, you get a new perspective of a wedding. Super 8 is expensive. It slows everything down. It looks shit. It's just it's like masturbation for wedding filmmakers. It doesn't bring anything to the couple. It's awful.
Loving it. This is the real.
What's an underrated skill every filmmaker should have or develop?
Understanding keys in songs and music so that you can blend music and kind of ambient audio together nicely.
I like that. Right. Yeah, I like that. Good answer.
Exciting.
Roo, we are approaching the end of the episode, my friend. I'd love to go back to your 2 truth and 1 lie, please.
Yes.
Can you tell us what they were again?
Yes. Let me get my list up. So the first one, I've nearly choked to death on my supplier meal on 5 separate occasions. That's number 1.
Only 5?
Yeah, that's a lie. It was actually 7. I was once so ill at a wedding that I couldn't remember shooting it at all. And when I was editing it, it was like I was editing an associate shooter's work. And the third one is Bruce Dickinson, the lead singer from Iron Maiden, stole one of my TX650s.
Oh, I think they're all true. There must be one of them that's kind of like a true story.
None of them are too wild, are they?
Yeah. No, they're not too wild. They are believable.
I think I'm going to go.
Do you want me to go first, Jeff? Or
yeah, you go first. You go first. I've got an idea what I want to go for, though.
So
I think that the Sony TX story is true. I think that the editing, like a wedding where you were really ill, is true. So I think it's the choking that is a lie.
I was going to go for that as well.
Are you both going to go for the same, or?
Yeah, are we allowed? Are we allowed to go for that? Have we done that before?
Why not?
Yeah, we've done it before. Yeah,
we can
going
team
for the
up,
same.
Jeff. We can team up. Yeah. So
Yes, you're both going the same. Okay, so do I do the reveal now? Drum roll. It is the Bruce Dickinson one. Is the lie.
Where did he get that from?
Well, it's kind of like one of those ones where it's a half truth. So it kind of like, actually, he didn't steal it, but he hid it. I was filming his son's wedding, and he was giving a speech, and he was very, very unsure about me putting a mic on him, and I put one on him anyway, and I went to get it off him, and it was gone. And he was like, it was over there. And I had to search it, and he'd hidden it under a napkin. And I guess he just didn't want his voice being picked up when he was talking out in between. But yeah, it was.
God, that's so close to the truth, though. That's cheating.
Yeah, that
is it? Oh,
it's pretty much true, isn't it?
It's so hard to come up with something completely come up with a complete lie without it sounding ridiculous. Like, I told you I'm not very good at lying. But I've choked to death. I think because I chat so much. During the supplier meal, when I'm chatting to the photographer, I've nearly choked to death a couple of times, and the Heineken news had to come out, an embarrassing amount. And that one wedding, I was so ill. It was a bank holiday weekend. There was no one to cover. I had insane diarrhea, and I remember during the speeches, I just had to sit down by my monopod and just sweating. But I tell you what, though, the edit was great. I was well happy. It's amazing. If what I shot on that day, I was so happy with. I must have been on kind of autopilot, just getting it done. Yeah. But I can't remember the day at all. I just remember sweating during the speeches. But yeah,
it just shows you the muscle memory we have, doesn't it? It's just right. You might as well turn your mind off.
Easiest job, innit?
Your body will just do it all anyway. Yeah. I've had that, but it's because it was the 3 in a row. So I had 3 in a row, really, really late shoots as well. And the third wedding, I don't remember any of it at all. So yeah, similar. Yeah.
Third one though, I always feel I'm in the flow. The second one can be difficult. Third one, I'm basically just seeing in shutter speeds and white balance Kelvins now. I know everything. Ellipses or whatever you called it. Got it on tap. Mise en scene.
Roo, it's been awesome having you on. Thank you again for coming on. It's been brilliant. I actually wanted a debate. We didn't have the debate. I wanted to have a debate about, the whole too many foreigners in Buff thing. But we didn't go there.
We can do if you want, but I think Josh needs to go. But guys, seriously though, thank you for everything that you're doing for this community. For these awards are super, super important. Thank you for being so open with kind of feedback from people and making sure that you guys you're making sure that you're creating a perfect product for everybody. It's this year, the changes you've made to it are just so spot on. It's going to be that great balance of celebrating the British wedding filmmaking crowd, but there's still potential for the inspirational, aspirational stuff. You want people to be pushing harder. And I think anyone who maybe kind of had complaints before about there being too many international filmmakers and stuff, if anyone kind of looks back on that, what they're thinking, I think it's pushed them harder this year. So like it or not, everything has panned out the way it should have done. So everyone is pushing harder because they see what's out there. They're trying harder. We're not just using the excuse of the restrictions you have as British filmmakers. It's just been inspiring for absolutely everybody, and I can't wait to see all the things that you implemented, the changes, the positive impact. I know that's going to have happen when the awards take place again in February.
March.
Awesome. March.
1st of March.
1st of March.
Thank you, mate. That was so nice of you to say. That's really that's taken over as the real for rather than Super 8 shit.
I truly mean it, though, guys. I know how much hard work it would be doing all this. Almost impossible task, thankless task. Because even though you've made changes, people are going to moan. But you are doing the best possible. You've done everything you possibly can to make it great for everybody, really. But still, it still needs to give people a slap on the ass as well. You know what I mean? It can't just be going, "Oh, you're great, you're great, you're great." It's like going, "This is what you could be as well. This is what it needs, and that's what you're doing." And it's always going to be tough, but yeah, you're smashing it. Well done, lads.
Thank you.
Thanks, Roo.
Thank you.
Right.
I'm going to going to follow that.
I'll leave you to
filmmaker that you mentioned before now. So
love him.
thanks for coming on. Been great, mate.
Go on his website and click on the film where they're on a boat. I love that one.
Right.
It's really cool.
I will too. Thanks a lot, Roo.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
Have a good one, mate.
Bye.